Hello, this is Vance, and this is Wednesday, January the 18th, 2017. These are the CL trades for today using the slow hand method for price action. I'm in this trade long, and I got in right at 52.19. And the reason I got in is because it's a second entry long, first entry, second entry long off this bottom. I like the bottom here, the double bottoms here. And I thought it was support right here, pulls back up. And now when price turned around back here after this move down, I expected price to go higher. And so as a result, I put 3 contracts on. My stop is below this area right here, which for the overnight, this is the low. The daily low is actually 52.04. So that's where my stop is. And I thought it was, I had gotten in this trade earlier. I was in on a trade right here, and so I think that this is support near the bottom here, and as such I'm looking at prices going higher. I don't know if this is really a trend at this point in time. What I do know is that what I've been looking at is really at this number at 52.40. Prices bounced off this area for the top of this range a number of times, and the bottom, I think, is really somewhere in this neighborhood. It's like 52. Well, the low right in this range where the closes are, it's 52.14. So this is the low and this is the high. So I think there's enough room to get at least my first contracts. And you can see that there's indecision here at this point in time. But I think my stop is lower, and I'm going to let it go and see if I can get my first contracts off. I like the entry right here. I like the entry at 52.20. It's got room to get up here after this move. I mean, this is a pretty strong bars to go against. But, we've got like these 5 bars that came down here, the turnaround here, and the support to the left. I wouldn't take this trade if it hadn't been for the support for the left. This one just recently, and these were earlier today, and of course my stop being below the low of the day, or very close to the low of the day. So, I mean, if price comes down here, it's going to be a failed trade. But I think it's worth the risk, and I think that the idea is that if I got the second contract off, it's got to break this 40 level in order for me to really go higher. And because of the overnight, I think this is really finding support down here. So that's my reasoning for this particular trade. In addition, if it starts to stall, if I don't get up here, if it doesn't kind of make a run within the next couple of bars to my target, I'll be looking at closing it out. If I'm not, if it's still kind of moving sideways at this time because of these overlapping bars, I'll be looking at closing it out. So it's got to really start. Trades really work almost right away. You'll get, and if you look at any time-based chart, you'll see that on the CL, trades usually work within the first 7 to 10 minutes. And that's kind of a general rule of thumb, but if they don't work by that period of time, it's probably looking at time that's kind of the time issue. Now, it's subjective, but depending on where you are as far as the immediate price action is concerned, but that's the way I really look at it. Is if it's not moving within anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes, it's probably time to close that trade out and look for another entry. So I'm leaving it the way it is for the time being. Been in this trade now for roughly it's been close to 10 minutes, but it's even though it's 10 minutes, there we go. So hopefully this is going to take out my first contract. If it gets to 10, I'll probably move it to break even, and then I'll at 29 and leave it from there. Okay, I moved it to break even, and see if it gets to my target, 34. Oh well, it's not ready to go. Came back and took me out right at that 20. It's just not ready to go at this point in time. So I'll look for another entry. Okay, here you see a trade that I missed. I missed this trade. Now you can see this, and the reason I missed it, you can see me scratch. I scratched out at 62.19. Let me just give you the dialogue for this particular trade. Look where it is right now. Now we're above that. It's above 40. I talked about this area before. That 40 was the resistance area because it's been bouncing here, and now it's through there, and this is the move. So I missed this. Now, how did I miss this? Why did I miss it? Did I miss it because of that I made a bad decision? Well, no, it's not. The reason I missed it was probably kind of a time stop more than anything else. And let me explain to you what I mean by that, this time stop. I entered this trade right at this moment. Okay, so let me give you the anatomy of this particular trade. I was in on this trade right here. I don't know if I want to watch this. It's kind of going way too far for me. Anyway, it's upsetting watching it go away. No, I'm kidding. It's not. Is this fear of missing out or leaving money on the table? Am I kicking myself over this? No. There's other trades. There's going to be other trades. So I just wasn't in on this one. Anyway, let me talk about this particular trade and how it transpired. Price moves down. This has been an area right now. This area right here at 52.40 has been a resistance area for some time. You can see that price has traded up and traded back down on a number of occasions. Now, price made this new high at 47, pulled back, first pullback, attempted to go up again, second pullback. Now, it really wasn't the first pullback. I looked at this being like, if you look at this, it's in this trend channel. This is like price moved up, pulled back, and then moved up again. So this is kind of like the first entry, this entry bar, even though it's kind of a hidden first entry, pulls back down to here and then bounces. Now, I got in on this trade. I got 15 ticks off on it. But the reason I got in is that when you look at the left side of the chart, this was the top of the original range, and this is this morning. So you can see that price bounced. There's a double bottom to the left-hand side within this chart. So I got in this trade. Took 15 ticks, and then it returned back to this area. Now, on a larger time frame, this is your first entry, second entry long. So I thought I entered on that trade. And I entered on that one because it did turn down here. And again, we have this double bottom here. And my stop is below the low of the day. So if I look at this other micro double bottom and arguably a triple bottom right here, this looks like support to me. So as a result, I entered at 62.19. And that was really at 10.46. Now, price is going up, comes back down here, and I get this overlap, these overlapping bars here. And so from 10.46 to 11.01. So we're looking at roughly 15 minutes, 16 minutes. And the reason I'm looking at that this is causing me concern, not concern, but the reason is because when you put on a trade, trades usually start working out almost right away. So within the first 5 to 10 minutes, let's say, maybe a little bit longer depending on how the context is at that particular area. I can understand that it might take a little bit longer because of the fact that this is, sellers are maybe taking this price lower, and buyers at this level, there's absorption of these contracts. In other words, that's why it's moving like this. There's like capitulation. Sellers can't take it lower, buyers can't quite take it higher, so they're battling it out. Who's going to win out? If sellers win out, then price is going to move lower. If buyers win out, then price is going to move higher. So when it gets up to here, you have a fairly strong bar, you have a doji, you have this strong bar here, and so I was up at 10 ticks. I moved my stop to break even because I don't know if it's going to turn back down. And it turns out that I should have really kind of moved my stop in below 10. That would have been only a 9 ticks of heat because look where it took off. Not only did it clear my first contract at 34, but it took out my second target up here, and now it's way up at 62. However, how do I feel about that trade? Did I make a mistake? Well, no, I didn't. When I put my trade on originally, I had the initial risk was right as far as where the low was and where my target was. And it was really based on a time issue. It just kind of rolled back and prevented me from, I decided at that point to take it out. Now, in hindsight, what should I have done? Well, obviously I could have moved it up to here. I would have taken some risk off the table. But this overlap really made my decision. And how bad was it? It was only a tick. In other words, it was 62. If I would have dropped it in at 52.18, but I put my stop at break even, it was break even minus one, I would have survived that. So for want of one tick, I missed this move on this contract. But it happens. That kind of thing happens. I don't know price is going to come down. All I'm doing is looking at probabilities. So how would I rate that particular trade? I would rate this trade, apart from the fact that it didn't go to my targets, I rate this trade as a good trade. It was a very good trade. In fact, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd have to give this trade probably a 9 out of 10, 8 to 9 out of 10, 80%. Because if you look at where my original entry was, it was a good entry. My stop was below support, and my original I've got enough room to get to these double tops here, to double tops right here. The only difficulty is that after it'd been in this trade for almost 20 minutes, or at least 15 minutes, I moved it to break even. And I got taken out it just hit my contract. It didn't go to 18, it went right to 19 and took me out. And for want of that, it sprung out of here very quickly, broke through 40, and moved up higher. Anyway, so that's kind of the anatomy of a trade. As far as the rest of today is concerned, that's it for me. And this is Vance. Bye for now.